Songs from the Precipice by Djibi Diallo. 2. The World According to Sax. Orwell House Hostel, Whitechapel Road, East London, November rain. Cold to the marrow of your bones, but you can live with that. Cold turkey on its way, now that's another story. Been there too many times not to recognise the daunting signs. It's in the post, special delivery by tomorrow, no doubt about that. The postman won't have to ring twice. Soon, we'll have something to really worry about. Thinking of calling GB and trying to borrow a score off him till next week, but dismissed the idea. The man's been taking the piss lately. If you let him get away with it this time, your name ain't Sax. A good walk might help clear the cobwebs from your brain, but you don't fancy hitting the road right now. Too hot out there. These days, the law seems to be everywhere. And it doesn't help when you've got a face that screams out from miles away, "Beware, crime in progress." But you haven't got much choice, have you? After all, man got to work. Citizen Sax. Naturally, what you mean by getting to work is stealing, robbing everything that isn't tied down. You've been trained by the best. There'll be no one to wish you luck. You become the enemy at the gates of society. Sometimes life can be a curious thing, as you will find out soon. To whomsoever may read this narrative and ever felt that your next step may be your last, you will know what I'm on about. Later, when the police asked me to help with their inquiries, I couldn't bring myself to give them names. In a childish way, I resented authority, and it didn't help when one of the WPCs told me in a reproachful, patronising tone that they were just doing their jobs. I'm not sure if it was the person or the uniform that I disliked the most, but I ended up shutting up like an oyster. Besides, I remembered too well that half the world's troubles came from people doing their jobs. When word got around, the local papers didn't waste time before pointing out how Jimmy was adored by everyone, loved playing cricket, and wouldn't hurt a fly. He'd even volunteered twice a week at the Mission, the day centre for the homeless in Whitechapel. It depended from which angle you were looking at it. The Jimmy I knew was a slippery fucker, censorious and fond of malicious gossip, but one thing for sure, he didn't deserve this end of. Few people have been so unjustly dealt by fate since fate started to take the piss. Why I didn't help the police with the investigation had nothing to do with the so-called East End Underworld Code of Conduct. I had other plans with plastic gangsters.